Hello, good afternoon and welcome to today. What are we? Thursday the 21st of May. Hope everybody is good. Not much to talk about first of all, just a couple of things. I mentioned yesterday about a new drivers app that is available, Couriers Today. I did try to join it last night. I managed to create an account and that was as far as I was able to go. Trying to upload details of vehicles, etc. I couldn't get that done, so yeah, I'll have another go maybe tonight or more likely over the weekend, to be honest, when I've got a bit more time to sit and play with it. I was doing it all on the mobile rather than on laptop, but I'll have a look at it anyway and I'll let you know in due course the outcome of that. One other little thing that's sort of cropped up in various news outlets and bits and pieces, if you do European work, you already know obviously that from I think 1st of July you have to have a Gen 2 tacho fitted to your van, of which you must operate not only when you're overseas but when you're in this country as well. At the moment apparently there's about a 6 or 7 week waiting list to have a tacho fitted, so if you haven't had it done you better get it done. And it seems if you do have a tacho fitted, although it's not legally required until the 1st of July, you are being pulled, especially in Holland and Germany, and if you have one fitted you should be using it. So just a warning, if you do have one and you are going abroad, best to stick it on. And it just sort of brought me to a wider point. I've mentioned tachos before and I'm not overly against it, but I do think there's a couple of things that have happened recently. Our current Prime Minister Keir Starmer mentioned recently that he wants to take us closer to the heart of Europe, and his proposed successor Andy Burnham is very much in favour of us getting back in bed with Europe. I think with the Labour Party we all know, whether you like them or you don't like them, they're all for workers' rights rather than business, and therefore I can see within the next couple of years that tachos will be coming in. I can just see it. They'll use it under the guidance of that van drivers are being exploited by rich business owners with the hours that they work, and they'll bring it in under that auspices, I think is the word I'm looking for. I don't know, might be wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, just then go on to today really. I did win a job. Well, yeah, I got a phone call yesterday. I didn't win a job. I got a phone call yesterday, regular shipper. It's a job I do from Braintree going to Hemel Hempstead. And they asked me if I was available to do that this morning, which I was. It's always an 8 AM pickup. The office isn't open until 8 AM on the dot. So I was there for 7:45. It's a small van job. 67 miles. I do this for £80. I've done it for £80. Well, for a good year or so. It's a very straight job. It's one pallet, and I'm out of there. I was say I went to the office at 8 o'clock. I was out by 8:10. It's a nice straightforward run round to Hemel Hempstead, just off the M1 as you join it from the M25, and it's a straightforward quick offload, and I expected to be there empty for 9:30, and I think it was 9:28 when I was empty and pulled out. Looked for a couple of jobs. Again, it's the same old problem. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, but again it's all distance. There wasn't anything in Hemel Hempstead, which is unusual because I could guarantee if I was in Watford or Slough there'd be loads of work in Hemel Hempstead. There was a job from Northwest 2 going to Witham for a large van, 57 miles. Suits me getting back into Essex. I put £70 on that, didn't get it. Stanmore, which isn't too far away, it's probably again about half an hour in terms of distance driving. Going back into Essex again, Chelmsford, small van job, 49 miles. I went with £50. I thought I'd quite like to get back into Chelmsford, didn't get that one. And then one from Slough, which was a fair way. It was going to be about 40 minutes, but I had an hour and 20 minutes before the pickup time, and that was also going to Chelmsford for a small van. 70 miles. I put £90 on it. I didn't get it, and when I thought about it, I've gone too high there for that. Small van, 70 miles, I probably £70 would have done it. But having said that, it's the other balance. I've got to drive all the way to Slough to go and get it, so maybe not a bad thing in the end. But I did finally win a job around just before 10 o'clock, so not too bad. But again, I've had to drive for it, and it was from Hitchin in Hertfordshire, 35 minutes from where I was, and it was going to Wisbech. It's a small van job, 66 miles. I quoted £80. Probably could have done with another £10 on that, but my thought process and my thinking was, I've gone to areas, especially yesterday, I went to Harlow, which should be a good area, and I got nothing. And again, I keep reiterating this, everything seems to be 30 minutes away. So I thought, if I go to Wisbech, I should be there for around 12 o'clock. I can get unloaded, I can have a look, and I thought probably what I'll do is maybe have my lunch there and then about 12:30 make my way down towards Thetford, Bury St Edmunds. And because that's a sort of 45-minute drive, there's a good chance that I might have something appear on the feed for around about 2 o'clock to collect. So that's what I did. I got that job, made my way up to Hitchin, got there at 10:35, off site straight away, 10:40, just one pallet. That's when it all started to go a little bit wrong, as it always did. I expected to be Wisbech somewhere around about 12, but straight away came up there was a problem with a road closed on the outskirts of Wisbech, which said it's going to be more likely 12:30 that I got there. Still wasn't a disaster. It finished up a hill. I got there at 12:50. It was an accident, apparently, a lorry and two cars on the A47. Everything had to go through Wisbech, including lorries, and if you know Wisbech, it's not really built for lots of traffic, including lots of lorries. So we didn't arrive on site till 12:50, off site 12:55. I had a quick break for 15-20 minutes and had my lunch. There wasn't really anything. There was a couple of jobs in Wisbech, but they for later on. One was going to Nottingham, and I think one was going to Peterborough, and that was for about 4 o'clock, so neither of those were really much use to me. So I did what I planned. I left and started making my way towards Thetford, which is about 45 minutes drive, and lo and behold, absolutely zilch has come up. I got to Thetford, I decided I'm going to keep going, and made my way to the outskirts of Ipswich on the A14, which is where I've just been parked up for about 45 minutes, trying to see if I could get something out of Ipswich, Stowmarket, Colchester, but there's just nothing appears in those areas. And again, I keep coming back to this sort of 30-mile thing. There was one job when I was leaving Wisbech, and it was on same day network courier, and it was from Thetford going to Haverhill, 33 miles from medium wheelbase, and I bid £60 because it was taking me sort of in the right direction, and it was a 2 o'clock booking, so I was going to be there just after 2. I put on the notes ETA 2:15, never got a phone call. I looked 10 minutes ago, the job is still sitting there, so I'm probably guessing it was put on the system at 11:30 this morning, so it's probably been covered. They just haven't taken it off the site, or they want an incredibly low price, which they're welcome to, but it won't be me. So we're now at 4:45. I'm driving home. Yeah, I'm probably going to be home for about 4:30, so it's not a bad thing in some ways, but it's just 2 jobs today, £80 each, £160, so a little bit low target. And what started off as a good week went to disaster yesterday, and just below average today. I expect tomorrow's going to be busy, being the Friday before bank holiday, famous last words of course, Russell. Yeah, but I'm going to sort of elaborate on what I'm saying tomorrow. I think it's something I need to talk about, and I will do that tomorrow. Hope everybody else is okay and you've had a decent day, and we'll go again then tomorrow. All the best. Cheers, Paul.